Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and this is our Sports Ticker. Tonight, the Nebraska women's soccer squad continues their exhibition season as they face off against Colorado State at 7 from Hibner Stadium. Admission is free if you'd like to attend. In other news, there are 3 more NFL preseason games tonight. They're just about to kick off in Atlanta, where the Falcons host the Lions. They're also just about to kick in Charlotte, where the Panthers will host the Browns. That game can be watched on NFL Network. And in about 30 minutes, the Patriots host the Commanders. And finally, it's a busy day in Major League Baseball. Most of the games are just getting underway. They're scoreless in the top of the second between the Reds and the Pirates. About to start in Baltimore, where the Orioles host the Athletics. About to start in the Bronx, where the Yankees will host the Astros. In Detroit, the Angels will take on the Tigers. And later tonight, the Cubs will face off with the Cardinals. Hour 1 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Tight formation, turn, toss it off to a little end around by Barney. Use at the 10-5, touchdown Nebraska. Jatori Barney slips in there, taking the pitch on the end around from 10 yards out. Nebraska stretches the lead to 20-3.
Pickens with a 1-2. Bland rolls the ground ball to third. Gibson charges, backhand stop, throw the first to throw. Wild! Runner safe at first. Squire scores. Now Lauren Cabot's in around third. She dives in safely. The throw wide of the plate. Bland around third. She's gonna score! Everybody scores! Everybody scores! A Little League 3-run home run for Sammy Bland. 3-1 Nebraska!
Between the circles now to Wooster and to Morgan. Back to the basket. Comes left. Dribble handoff to Esijan. Took a bump. Drives it. Puts it up. Got it! Holy smokes, what a great goal by Connor Esijan. He's not just a three-point shooter, my friends. 70-67.
Now, here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hey everybody, we're back on a Friday night. It's been a while. We've had our best of series all throughout the summer. Appreciate Josh for working so hard on those and giving us a walk down memory lane every Friday night throughout the summer. He worked so hard on those, so appreciate that. But we're back because we had availability today, lots of things going on. We have red-white scrimmage for Husker Volleyball tomorrow, so we had to bring it back tonight. So Kyle Crooks with me here. He's going to be joining me full-time next week on Monday night's show, but got a fun show. We used to call the Friday night shows Friday party shows.
Okay.
And it's definitely a party show tonight because John Baylor is going to be in the house.
Yes, he is a party. So I met him for the first time. He is an awesome person, unique character. He is sort of what you hear on the radio, but a great conversation. We look forward to Aaron here on Sports Nightly.
Yes, so he and Lauren will be back for Husker Volleyball tomorrow, so we figured we'd get him on here tonight, preview the season, and so we were able to track him down and get him in studio. Can't wait for you guys to hear that conversation. But mentioned it was a busy day, had some availability with Husker football, so we'll hear from a couple of the coaches coming up in hour number 2. But Troy Dannon also met with the media today, and it was a lengthy press conference, almost an hour, right?
Yeah.
He
had a pretty lengthy opening statement. He covered all the bases for sure. It's amazing the amount of things that he has an in-depth knowledge, and you need to have an in-depth knowledge for as an athletic director. And it was front and center in the opening statement, and when he fielded all the questions from the media, it was anything you needed to know or had any questions about before the start of the athletic year, he covered it.
So we will not have time to play that whole hour-long press conference here tonight. And Troy will also be here for his monthly shows on Sports Nightly once again this season. The first one's the week of the first game, so he'll be back on here shortly. But if you want to listen to the full press conference, it is on our YouTube channel. You can go back and listen to that. But we wanted to play a couple of the highlights for you here tonight. And we start just, he was addressing just the success of the overall athletic department last year. Here is that comment.
Competitively, I think we have 5 sports in the top 10, bowl champion, crown champion, a couple of Big Ten champions. It was a really good year competitively, a lot to celebrate. We also went off the field. We had a 3.46 department GPA, which is a record at Nebraska. Nobody talks about academics anymore, but internally we talk about academics all the time. So everybody's very proud of that. We had 11 more academic All-Americans last year. We also did some really good things financially. We set a record with 17,663 donors. We also passed $70 million in donations last year for the first time, another Nebraska record. So Tyler Kai and his crew did a remarkable job. And then the other area where I think no one compares to Nebraska from an attendance standpoint, two things that I've learned to look at here. One is the women's four, and it's if you take the FBS schools and the sports that we all or almost all compete in, the women's four, which is volleyball, softball, basketball, and soccer. Our attendance last year was 337,000 in the women's sports. That's second in the country, which is pretty remarkable. I think South Carolina was ahead of us. LSU was right behind us.
And it just shows how, a lot of schools like to throw the moniker of everything school out there, but Nebraska backs it up with numbers. The attendance that you see at, like Troy Dannett had mentioned, outside of volleyball, which we know what those numbers are and the mystique of Nebraska volleyball, but women's basketball, soccer, the success of softball and some of the attendance numbers that they had this year, not just the sports that everybody talks about here at Nebraska, which would be your football, men's basketball, volleyball. There's so many different areas of the athletic department that thrived this past year.
And Troy has said it time and time again. He wants to win at everything. He's a competitive guy. He wants every team to win and then improve every year. And so had a great season last year, and he's hoping and really expecting even more coming up this season.
I want to win at a level that Nebraska has seen before. You don't go from where we've been to that today. So in some ways, you're right. There has to be progress. Like I talk a lot about building blocks. We get into the bowl game, as absurd as it seems, given our last decade, that was a foundational block that needed to happen before we could take the next step. Winning the game was a foundational block. The next one's going to be that fourth quarter drive, right? That everybody talks about what hasn't happened, and then we can finally start talking about what has happened. So, there's a lot of things that however the record turns out, I think whether the program is progressing or whether the program isn't progressing.
And when you're out of football practice, and he was talking specifically in that moment about the next step for football. So you saw the step from year one to year two, and now that leap that we all expect here in year three. And he had mentioned about the culture, and he had said a different point of the press conference, and how do you know when certain sports are moving in the right direction? He said it's when you're around it every single day. It's not necessarily the wins and losses you see at the end of the year, because there's factors that lead into that. There's injuries. There's certain circumstances you can't control. But how has the culture improved? And, that's what Troy had said today specifically about football. You can see that the culture, the organization is firmly in place here for Nebraska, and that sets up well for this season.
I think it's such a great point, because everybody just gets caught up in, you got to win. But in a sport like, say, a softball, like a couple of years ago, you have Jordy Ball gets hurt in the first game of the season. That
changes everything.
It changes everything, and you just have to take that into consideration. And they still ended up having a great year in all consideration. When you lose a pitcher like that, it's just kind of one of those sports. So yeah, I love that quote. Okay, last thing I want to play for you. It came out about a month or so ago that the athletics department was going to make it available, make the spaces here, all the different venues here available for people to use for special events, and just another way to generate revenue, and then also creating a special events group. So this was Troy talking about that and the decision behind that.
We have to use our venues. One, a 10,000 seat venue. We have PBA at 16, and then we obviously have the stadium. We have to start thinking entrepreneurially. The days are past when we can just rely on, hey, there's 7 home football games and we're going to shutter the stadium. We have to find ways to generate revenue. And I know everybody's tired of hearing about it, but we have to generate revenue outside of raising ticket prices. And one of the ways to do it are capitalize on the venues. One, it's also great for the community. It's heads in beds, but we have to start thinking heads in beds. We have to start thinking and acting like we're a convention visitors bureau. we can't be passive any longer and say, I hope somebody calls us and wants to perform in our stadium. So the idea of this events group is to actively pursue events. And we're having the Nebraska Chamber of Commerce in the West Side. I'm speaking to in a couple of weeks. And I'm talking events from that to stadium shows to concerts to other events. And that's what this group is there to do. I know right now they're just getting here, but we're engaged with 3 different potential events for calendar year 26. We aren't going to see anything in the stadium this fall, but it takes time. Most of these are a year, 18 months in advance. So that's a big focus for us.
I think that's really exciting. If you're from Lincoln or surrounding area, that means there's going to be more opportunity to have some cool things come through here. And it's such a forward-thinking process from Troy to understand that in the era of college athletics that we're in now, there's creative ways that you have to find ways to make more money, because now you're paying athletes directly through the athletic department with the house settlement, and so you have to get creative. So what this group is going to allow the University of Nebraska to do is to go out and get maybe some of these big acts for concerts and different events inside Memorial Stadium, where you never thought you'd be sitting and watching a certain musical performance live inside Memorial Stadium, and now you're going to just have different talent come through, different events come through. It's going to be, I think, really cool in the years to come to see what ideas get presented.
Do you think there will be anybody trying to rent out a venue for a wedding?
I think so. I think everything's on the table. You hit that certain money number, everything's on the table. You never know.
All right, and again, we'll hear more from Troy Dannon here in about a couple weeks when he's on live here on Sports Nightly. And lots to dive into with him, too, as we talk about. Kyle was diving into the food he was going to eat in the stadium the first couple of games. There's lots of changes there. We're going to get all that information out for you, and some fun things surrounding game day coming up this year. So we'll have more information with that coming up here or on Sports Nightly over the next couple of weeks. We got to get to a break because we have to save plenty of time for the legend of John Baylor. He's going to stop by in studio, join Kyle and me. Kyle's first time meeting JB. So it's a treat, as it always is. So when we come back, John Baylor here on Sports Nightly. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
I got to see my brother get married.
I
would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
At Woodhouse, we're with you every step of the way. With more than 20 locations and brands, you'll find options that fit your lifestyle. Whether you're looking for your first car, your next SUV, or something built to tow and haul. Enjoy straightforward pricing, helpful guidance, and a dealer experience built around you. Visit one of our convenient locations today or explore your options online at woodhouse.com. Serving our customers for 50 years, this is Woodhouse.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Joe Methy in Kearney, Jackie Rowan in Lexington, or Megan Fales in Cozad today.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Akrs, Midwest Premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. As we welcome you back to Sports Nightly, I'm Jessica Coody. And boy, are you in for a treat tonight.
Jessica.
John Baylor, let me introduce you to Kyle Crooks.
Kyle, hello.
Let's do the on-camera handshake
Nice,
right
nice.
there. First time that you're the last one of the Husker radio crew that I had not had a chance
Best for
to
last.
meet or
Best
talk to.
for last.
Best for
Ben,
last.
what about Nate Rohr?
Nate Rohr.
Great
Actually saw
guy.
Nate today. I went for coffee with Kent last week.
Nice.
So now I've completed everybody in the Husker radio tree here with JB. Nice to meet you.
Great to meet you. Great
Start
to
of
see
a new
you.
season. Crazy,
Yeah.
huh?
Exciting, boy. If my goal is to manage expectations, I have a big hill to climb.
Yeah, I don't know if you can do that this year.
Boy, the fans. I'm like, let's pump the brakes here. I mean, everyone's already thinking Kansas City, and everyone's right. I've never seen this kind of expectation, and to saddle a new coach with this expectation is a lot. But she seems to be really comfortable, so it's just remarkable. You don't see this anywhere else. I mean, they're not talking title in the general public in Austin, Texas, right now, and that's just par for the course in Nebraska.
Well, can you believe it's time for another one?
Yeah.
Red-White scrimmage coming up tomorrow. You and Lauren back on the air. You have an hour-long pregame show, but are you ready for another one?
Heck yes. It's so fun, and the team just seems to be getting along great, and the new coaching staff as well. And I got to watch a scrimmage on Wednesday. So Danny Buswell-Kelly likes a scrimmage. So she was an assistant coach under John Cook for 5 years, and Coach Cook drilled a lot. He was like the best practice drill guy you'd ever want, and that's why so many of the players went on to play pro. Danny Buswell-Kelly likes to mix it up a little bit more, and she played 4 sets of volleyball, a scrimmage on Wednesday, and I watched the first and part of the second set, and she split it up in a manner so you couldn't really tell that's the A team, that's the B team, which also when the team scrimmaged in the past you could kind of tell. So that's interesting. And anyway, what I witnessed was a difficult time on the part of all the front row players to put the ball away. The block is so formidable, the back row defense is so capable that you have these elite attackers like Harper Murray just struggling to score points, and so these rallies go on forever. So the defense is really exciting to watch.
Wow.
Let me ask you we can call her DBK, right? For short, for Danny
That's new.
Buswell-Kelly?
But sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, you saw her as an assistant coach, of course. Did you see her being as great of a head coach in what she did at Louisville? Did you see the foundation of a great head coach when she was here as an assistant?
Absolutely, because at the time she was the top recruiter in the country. So she had previously come from Tennessee and Louisville and had great contacts there. And she brought Kenzie Maloney here. She brought other players here from there. And that really is the cornerstone for what I call the golden age of Nebraska volleyball between 2015, still ongoing, 7 of the last 10 seasons, Final Fours, and two national championships in those 10 years and 7 Final Fours. So she was a pillar of that. Her recruiting skills, her ability to communicate, connect with parents, 8th graders, 10th graders, 11th graders, the media is just remarkable. So I saw it. Now, did I see her taking a team like Louisville, which flirted with the top 25 every third year, and make it a perennial top 10 program and go to 3 Final Fours in the last 4 years, 2 championship matches? Probably not. But if anyone can do it, she's got the magic touch.
So number 1 in the preseason, again, you're supposed to tailor those expectations, JB. I think you're going to have a hard time doing it this year. But is that what you would have expected? I mean, I know that Danny, when she met with the media the other day, she said she voted for Nebraska number 1.
She did? She said that?
Yeah.
She's so disarming. Like, she's just so honest. Like,
she also said that she didn't play in practice either. But apparently she does play. Like, she's in it. Like some of the players are talking about how she was in it, like, serving and doing all these things in practice. She's sort of, I'm not really playing in practice, but it sounds like she's involved.
Well, she's very involved. Just she's standing on the sideline. I mean, she gave birth a couple months ago. I don't know if she's going to be out there, trying to block and dig a whole lot, but she was a heck of a player when she finished in 2006, won the national championship, played 2 positions, 3 as a setter and 1 as a libero. But yeah, she's always hitting practice balls and things like that, I'm sure, but probably taking it a little bit easy as we speak. But I did expect this team to be ranked very high because they were loaded before they brought on a 6'5" Italian Premier League transfer in the middle of summer, Virginia Adriano. And she is the highest touch point on the team. That's saying a lot when you have Andy Jackson. It's probably right there with Andy. She's a right-hander on the right side, which makes her versatile. You can play her on the left side if you want to. Their other 2 are lefties. You got Ali Czech and Ryan Hunter. They're both lefties, so you have to play them on the opposite on the right side. But Virginia Adriano, I mean, she listened to her coaches. They told her to grow when she was a kid, and she did. And she is a legit 6'5". So we got, we got a 6'5" on the right side. We've just got height all over the floor. We got one of the premier blockers in the country, Rebecca Alec. We've got 2 elite setters. Yeah, I expect us to be ranked pretty high.
What do you see as the biggest competition heading into that first match? Is it libero? Is it that second outside hitter? What is number 1 for you that stands out as that biggest competition?
All 3. There's a lot of open questions about those 3 positions. All 3 opposites that I just named them have never played at Nebraska at that position or any position. The second outside position, I mean, I think Terea Sigler is really poised, and she just looks 23. And she
talks like she's 23,
really
too.
Interesting. Not surprised. She just seems precocious in every way, and that's key because you just got to stay level-headed because things happen so fast in volleyball. And libero, I mean, in a perfect world, you'd have Olivia Malk as your passer, receiving serve, and then you'd have Lainey Choboy as your digger when you are serving, trying to make sure the other team doesn't side out. But that burns both players. You can play 2 liberos, but that's using both players, so neither's available as a defensive specialist. And Danny said publicly that she doesn't want to do that. So one's going to be a libero, and then one's going to be a defensive specialist for 3 rotations. I mean, they're such different players.
How?
Well, Lainey's extroverted, loud, super athletic. Olivia is quieter and then also physically quieter. And you want calm as a libero. You don't want necessarily someone super muscular, because you're always just digging and you're passing, bing, bing, bing. You don't want someone like flying into the second row necessarily. That's, for other players. It doesn't hurt in the long scramble rally. It doesn't hurt to have Lainey going into the 3rd row, and she's tremendous at that. But you want someone ding, ding. You want everything to be kind of quiet as a libero. We learned that from Megan Pendergast, who played 2010, 2011, one of the greatest athletes in the history of the program. She transferred to A&M and played libero there because she just couldn't pass. She was too muscular. She was too physical. So that's an interesting question. I give the edge to Lainey because she's older, she's a junior, and Olivia's a sophomore, and she's louder, and you want a back row quarterback.
The expectations for Harper Murray. We always see her on social media, and she has a very big footprint in social media, but she backs it up with what she does on the court.
You say we always see her on social media. I got to tell you, I do not spend
a
whole lot of time.
John Baylor doesn't have a TikTok.
I don't boycott, but I do have about an 83-year life expectancy, so I don't spend a ton of time on there. But I do understand that she's
we
very
got to get
visible.
you on there, JB.
All right. But I mean, we do, with my business, I do some of it, but these kids, boy, they spend a ton of time.
John Baylor here. And
I don't want to be crotchety and an old timer here. I want to stay focused. And Harper, it was her team at the end of last year.
Match for the red-white scrimmage.
She
was
getting set in the concourse. She was getting set in the locker. I mean, she was getting a ton of swings. And it was very much her team at the end. And this year you can see she wants to be a leader. And to help her be that leader that she has earned in every way, she needs to be on the floor. That means she's got to pass. If she can play 6 rotations, she's going to be your leader. But there is so much competition. I mean, Taylor Landfair was lighting it up as an attacker at that scrimmage I saw on Wednesday. And, it's 4 deep. There are 5 great players who are vying for 2 spots on the left side. A lot of happy, difficult decisions. I don't hear a lot of opposing coaches crying over these choices that Danny Busboom-Kelly has.
Hey, I was trying to prep Kyle that STM, set the middles.
Set the middle. It could be FTM. Force the middle, because Danny Busboom-Kelly in practice, they just force the middle. And this spring, I'm like,
the middles are going to be involved, right?
Very. Yeah. I mean, there are some years the middles were bringing out their homework and doing some reading, and they just weren't getting a lot of action. Now it's like, bing, 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 step the middle. We don't have to remind them, but fans, this would be a great year if for some reason they don't set the middle a ton, which I highly doubt. We got to start chanting STM, STM. I'm telling you, just a reminder. There were moments last year when I was trying to get it started. As usual, very few people followed.
Just your starting chants live on the radio.
Oh, yeah. You got to be.
I like that.
The whole deal. I always wanted to be one of those cheer guys, in front when you're running back and forth like one of those A&M dudes. But that never happened. So, you try to relive dreams later in life.
Maybe you could break this down for us, too, and just maybe what to expect tomorrow, getting to see them for the first time here in the fall. But a lot of the players that I talked to in the newcomer series talked about how Danny likes to move things fast. It's faster pace. Can you maybe break that down for us in the offense and how that might look faster?
It felt a little faster in the spring. It felt she's downplayed that. She says, it's not much faster. But because they're forcing the middle so much, it's a much faster set. So we'll see a lot more of that. I mean, Bergen at the end of last year was not her best. And so that means she was struggling with the connection in the middle on the right side. So there's a lot more outside sets. So that slows it down. That gives the defense more time. Whereas, as I was just suggesting, they're going to be forced in the middle, even on bad passes, on bad digs, when the setter's out of position. It's amazing how they want to go short. They want to go quick. They want to go right off the setter. So that's going to make everything seem a lot faster. And it also depends on your setters. This Campbell Flynn. I mean, if you think T. Sigler seems precocious, wait till you see her. This Campbell Flynn, she's 6'2"-ish. I know she's listed as 6'3". I mean, if I played volleyball, I'd be 6'3", blonde, chiseled. Anyway, the point is, she's some of the heights are a little much, but she's probably a legit 6'2" freshman, and she's just super quiet, muscle. Like, her body is very quiet, and you want that as a setter, and pinpoint accurate. What's my point? That what you're going to see tomorrow is players who seemingly just have terrific chemistry early for like the 7th year in a row. It's remarkable. Secondly, you're going to see a crowd that doesn't know whom to cheer for, so it's going to be very quiet. Thirdly, you're going to hear a lot of oohs and ahs, because if it's like Wednesday, lots of marathon rallies. It's just highly competitive. I mean, impressive volleyball. You just don't want them to peak too soon. I mean, it's a long journey here. It's just almost 4 months, and they looked awfully good on Wednesday.
Is it fair to say we'll know a lot about this team after opening weekend? I mean, you're going to have pretty tough start.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Pittsburgh and Stanford. Gotcha. Yeah. We'll know a lot more, but it's early. I mean, my guess is the lineups are going to change over time. I mean, there are open questions at every position except for maybe middle. But, I mean, we got these 2 freshman middles. I think Kenna Cogill probably is a candidate to redshirt, but Manaya Obechi, hopefully we can, if we're recording this, maybe we can take that comment out. But she was really impressive. And she was the one who was committed to Northwestern, and then they had a coaching change, and she ended up here. And Obeche looks like she's going to be competitive. But the 2 middles are so elite. Those are the 2 spots where you think we're not going to have much substituting going on. But, this is one thing I haven't had in a long time, is that real depth at every position.
You think Andy Jackson has it in her to take even another step than what we had last year?
Probably, but look, have you heard about these deep fakes?
I have.
People are like,
we were talking about AI before we started recording.
Exactly.
It's scary out there.
I've seen photos of Andy Jackson, like her waist is at the top of the net. Now, come on. I think I'm getting deep faked, but you never know. You never know if that's some Russian bot or if it's somebody from India and it says on the call they're from Ainsworth. You don't know what's happening. But she can leap. She looks like she's got a slightly higher attack point, and she just springs. She's just so fun to watch, and that's another reason why they're going to be forced in the middle is you just can't have a conventional offense that, which means in 2025 you're primarily setting the pins when you have an offensive force like Andy Jackson. And Rebecca Alec, on any other team, Rebecca Alec is a primary attack target. And I know they're going to put, one's going to play 3 rotations and the other's going to play 3 rotations. Our middles are always going to be available and are always going to be a threat. Defenses will have to take them seriously.
I was so incredibly impressed with Rebecca Alec at Big Ten Media Days. I just watching her talk, I feel like she could be doing this for a living.
Sure.
Just being around her, she's pretty special, isn't she?
Yeah, she really is. She's been through a lot, and I root for her to be chosen as a captain. We'll find out soon who that might be. She's really paid her dues. She's a senior. She's local, and she's just you have to root for her because she's an amazing public speaker. She's got strong faith. She's got the courage to stand up for her convictions, whether you agree with them or not. I mean, that's not something we've seen a lot of in the past, and she's just got true fortitude, and she's brave, and she's a heck of a volleyball player, and she's very poised. She's got a very bright future, and I know Friday night she's hosting tonight a big team party at her place, and so she's increasingly a team leader. We got a lot of candidates for team leaders, and I think that at times was missing a little bit last year. Balls were hitting the floor when if someone had just taken charge, it would have happened less often. I'm just talking about in December when it really counted there, but she's a special young woman.
Do you think there will be 2, 3? How many captains do you think there's going to be?
I think there'll be 3.
Okay.
I think Bergen for sure. She was the captain in the spring, and we'll find out about the other 2.
Harper and Becca?
But I'm not voting, and if I am wrong, the players have earned the right to make the decision.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm just throwing out there who I think it might be.
I think those are good guesses.
Now, we've gone essentially through the roster here, but if you're going to the red and white scrimmage tomorrow, dark horse is the phrase that I'll use. Somebody that maybe doesn't get talked about enough, that if I'm a fan walking into that arena tomorrow that I should have my eye on, who is that to John Baylor?
Well, I was really impressed by Manaya Obeche, and she is the true freshman who probably will not be redshirting. She's out of Santa Rosa Valley, California. Such an impressive family. She's got a younger sister who's going to play at Harvard. Just impressive in every way, but she's ahead of where I thought she might be as a volleyball player. So she was fun to watch. Ryan Hunter's tough to take your eye off of because she has that big left arm. Before she had the ACL tear growing up in North Carolina, Coach Cook told me she was the most athletic, physical recruit in the country. And it doesn't look like she's missed a beat. And she had a really impressive match against Kansas in the spring. But the question is, was that an aberration? Was that her best moment in all spring, or is that something she can sustain? And she'll need to because there's so much competition at that position. So those 2 I've got my eye on. But, we've basically had 7 foreign players in the history of the program. And Virginia Adriano, 6'5", opposite from Turin, Italy, is a candidate to maybe be the biggest impact foreign player since Sarah Pavin. So out of Ontario. So she'll be same position, by the way, but she's right-handed. Sarah, of course, was lefty, and Sarah was 6'4", and Virginia's 6'5". So those 3 players, but there are 14 others. It's exciting. I hope at least 2 redshirt. This is a size of roster that Danny Busman Kelly's accustomed to. At Louisville, she had bigger rosters. Russ Rose at Penn State had bigger rosters. But Russ Rose would always have like 7 or 8 players who were shorter than I was. So, they weren't going to play. All these players are elite recruits. They're expecting to play. So 17's a lot to keep happy. If 2 redshirt, maybe 3, it's going to be less difficult.
Hey, how about Coach Cook? He's not just going to rodeo after all. Going to be the general manager and do some stuff with these Supernovas up there.
And then day 1, he signs as free agents Morgan Hentz who's, along with Justine, your top two choices for libero on the national team. Justine Wong-Orantes, former Husker. And then Merritt Beeson gets signed. And then Sidney Hilly, the great setter, one of the most decorated college setters in the history of the sport from Wisconsin, in one day. I'm like, what more can he do for an encore? I mean, the guy he signs one day, 3 days later, he signs the three best free agents in the league. Look, what he touches wins, and this is a great, not just for the Omaha Supernovas, but for pro volleyball. I mean, there were some real questions there with two leagues, a lot of teams not getting the fan base that they wanted, women's basketball taking off. I mean, women's basketball is averaging 10-5, and that's what the Omaha Supernovas is averaging for home games, and they're by far the most successful pro volleyball program. Now you throw John Cook in there, that fortifies the Supernovas and probably helps the league. Because one thing John Cook always is a visionary. And that's what you heard from all the Big Ten coaches about how, he was a tough competitor to face, but boy, was he good at growing the pie. He was good for the whole. So he just pushed everybody. You always wanted to be better when you had a competitor like John Cook. Well, now he's not only going to make the Supernovas better, I bet he's going to make pro volleyball better.
How much has he been around, if at all, to help Danny in this transition?
I don't think he spent a lot of time at the practices, but I'm not sure. I think he spent a lot of time on the Ponderosa. I mean, he doesn't like a calf that's just running free. I mean, he likes to
I've learned
have
that,
some rope.
reading up more on John Cook.
Yeah, if he sees a calf running free, he's not happy.
We're going to have to talk to you again before, or at least get some
I hope so.
thoughts. But how about that alumni team they're assembling for next week?
Jordan, Lauren Stivrins, Gina Mancuso, Layla Blackwell, Ani Albright. She's awesome. 2017, no national title without Ani Albright moving from the back row to the front row and being a second-team All-American. Kelly Hunter's going to set. She's the greatest setter in the John Cook era. Kelly Schwarzenbach's coming back. 6 feet, 5 inches tall, the pride of, I forget the name of the small town in Missouri. And Ellie Batenhorst is back. It's going to be close. I hope they practice, though.
I know. I was going to say, is somebody assembling some practices?
I don't want the alums to just show up. Like Larry Bird, when he was working for the French Lick garbage department. This is after he dropped out of Indiana before he signed with Indiana State. So he would drive his garbage truck and all day collecting garbage, and then he'd go play in this adult men's league. And he'd just show up, and he'd still smell, like he just been working. And he'd go through the layup line, and then he dropped 48. All right. So I want these players to warm up ahead of time. I want them to practice ahead of time because you got to have some chemistry. We're not all Larrys out there, but if they practice ahead of time so they've got timing down, this could be interesting.
Well, listen, we've had people wanting your presence to return.
Oh.
It's here tonight on Sports Nightly and back again on the airwaves tomorrow.
I love it when you talk to my relatives.
Full hour pregame show with you and Laura.
Oh. Sometimes I bring up middle school hobbies I forgot. I mean, but this year we're going to pack it. This year we're going to pack it with good stuff. I got a lot of good questions for Lauren. She is going to be back. And I hope she still remains kind of like that 60 Minutes interviewer in the postgame. Boy, in the interview. There are all sorts of questions we all wanted to ask, but Lauren asked. I'm like, love it. We need a Mike Wallace up here.
Any passing advice for Kyle?
Yes, please. Anything.
About Nebraska football or this position. It's one of the most visible jobs in the state, and it's a lot more fun when they win. And
I agree.
There's no place like Lincoln, Nebraska after a big victory.
I'm learning there's no place like Lincoln, and I look forward to that first victory in Lincoln. Let's do the victory in Kansas City first.
Yeah, let's focus on Arrowhead. I'm a little concerned about the Bearcats right now. That's an easy one to overlook. That's a tough team. I mean, when was the last time Cincinnati was in a New Year's Day Bowl? It wasn't long ago.
Well, they were in the playoff in 21 or 22. Yeah.
Yeah, and back then the playoff had how many teams? Four.
Yeah.
They were one of 4 teams.
Yeah. They've had a couple down years though, so they're trying to get back. And tough dual threat quarterback. I don't know. It's going to be a good game. You see teams now they do the FCS route to start or those bye games to start where it's sort of you get a chance to rest on your laurels a little bit, but now you're going right into it. NFL venue about. I read today 10-1 Husker fans probably in that building. It'll be a sellout at Arrowhead, so it'll be essentially a pseudo home game, and let's get this thing kicked off.
Can't wait, but we're not shying away from tough competition this year. No one's confusing Cincinnati with Alcorn State.
Hey, but it gets started tomorrow for you. Kyle's got his setup ready to listen to you in venue.
Yeah,
Nice.
I got my headphones. Maybe I'll come up, say hello.
Come to the
I don't know what
Devane.
kind of zone you're in once you're broadcasting, where it's don't go and talk to JB. But
I'm in an open zone.
You're an open
I'm in
zone?
an available zone.
Okay.
Any zone.
I can see that just in our interaction.
I'm in a
here.
1-3-1. Sometimes I go into a 2-3, but
Box and one, maybe.
Box, triangle and 2. Very nice. But I'll come up and hang out. I have space up there, so come up, grab some headsets. But it's going to be fun to watch. But boy, Pittsburgh ranked number 3 preseason, reigning National Player of the Year, Olivia Babcock. And then Stanford, they're in that second tier, in my opinion, for a national championship. They got 2 elite outside. That's a great place to start if you want to go deep in December. And they've got the most national championships of any program. They got 9 of them. Penn State's got 8 of them. Nebraska's got 5. So you couldn't have higher caliber competition early. Should be fun.
Hey, also thanks for the Hammer the Grammar stress hammer on to college.
It's a motto to live by. When you're like at a beverage gathering, you don't know what to say. Just say, hammer the grammar, just keep walking. High school kids do that all the time when they're passing in the hallway. Hey, hammer the grammar, just keep walking.
Always love it when we start seeing you around a lot more and hearing your voice a lot more. So we'll look forward to the call coming up 1:30 on the Huskers Radio Network.
Matinee with the Big Red. First serve at 2:30?
2:30.
Fire up.
Here we go. All right. He's John Baylor here, and make sure to tune in tomorrow right here, 1:30, the pregame show leading up to 2:30 match for the red-white scrimmage. We got to step aside for a break. Back with more coming up after this.
No matter what you're looking for, you'll find it at Woodhouse. We carry a wide selection of trusted brands across more than 20 locations, offering everything from efficient daily drivers to bold new EVs and family-ready SUVs. At Woodhouse, we put your experience first, offering expert guidance and a trusted team that's guaranteed to help you find the right vehicle. Visit a location near you or start shopping online at woodhouse.com. More ways to drive, more reasons to trust. This is Woodhouse.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Exarban Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
At Woodhouse, we're with you every step of the way. With more than 20 locations and brands, you'll find options that fit your lifestyle. Whether you're looking for your first car, your next SUV, or something built to tow and haul. Enjoy straightforward pricing, helpful guidance, and a dealer experience built around you. Visit one of our convenient locations today or explore your options online at woodhouse.com. Serving our customers for 50 years, this is Woodhouse.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? Oh, no way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
See shelter agents Jeff Bond or Reed Duvall in Lincoln, or Agent Victoria Watkins in Nebraska City.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Welcome back to Sports Nightly on this Friday evening with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody, and how about that, JB? He's a treat.
He is. He's just a ball of energy. He's something to behold, and I can't wait tomorrow. I will be there for the red and white scrimmage, but like you said, I'm going to have the headphones in, at least try to have the headphones in, maybe go up, sit with JB and maybe see how his process firsthand. Why not?
It's so fun. It's nobody does it like him. He basically created volleyball play-by-play, I feel like, and him and Lauren have such a great rapport, and they just such a good team. So excited to hear them back on the airwaves. Fan Day is also tomorrow, so I know it's going to be a busy day out there, and just it's going to be competitive because we just heard it, him going down the list of the rosters and how many different players are fighting for opportunities and to be able to play. We're going to see it firsthand tomorrow, and the team's going at it. I mean, again, the players have told me all summer long that have come in here that, hey, they're embracing it. They know what they're signing up for when they come to Nebraska, and they're not shy of the competition. They're not afraid of the competition. And so, as Danny said yesterday in our press conference, going to mix it up quite a bit. So we're going to get to see that competition on full display tomorrow.
Yeah, and JB was saying that if it's his job to temper expectations, I don't think he can. He's doing a good enough job.
Do it. I don't know if you can do it with this team.
Preseason number 1, picked to win the Big Ten, ahead of the reigning national champions in Penn State. A roster that's 17 deep, and as John was saying, that you have everybody on this roster is elite talent that is going to want to play. So that could be tough in year one for DBKs. I'm going to go with that nickname for the rest of the way here.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can buy T-shirts that have DBK. It shortens it up.
It's acceptable as long as it's acceptable to go with. But that's going to be tough to manage a roster in year one that is 17 deep and truly 17 deep, where all these players could make an impact.
I think from what we've heard and from her, and just from what we've even seen that she's done in the past, she's a little bit like what we talk about, like John Butler and Dana Holgerson, utilizing the talent that you have, putting people in the right places, knowing what your players do best. She's going to utilize as many people as she can to win, however way I think if you're worried about, hey, I need more playing time, she's going to do what she needs to do with the players that she has, find their strengths, and utilize however many of them that she can to be able to win as many games as possible. And
there's some intriguing position battles that we outlined yesterday, and that John outlined, the second outside hitter, the opposite hitter in libero. We all know what Lexi Rodriguez meant to this program, and how do they fill that hole here this year for Nebraska? Well, it starts tomorrow. Well, necessarily for them, it's been that process of understanding how that's going to look, but for the fans, you'll get that opportunity to see just exactly what that libero competition and some of those other competitions are going to be like.
All right, got to get to a break. We're back to wrap up hour number 1 next.
Set, hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Husker fans, the 2025 Nebraska football season is quickly approaching, and we need you in the Sea of Red at Memorial Stadium this fall. Nebraska football single-game tickets are now available in both end-zone and sideline seat locations and start at just $45. These tickets are only available while supplies last, so get yours today before they're gone. To purchase your Husker football single-game tickets or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Welcome back. Final segment here of hour number 1 of Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody. Hey, I'm sorry you ran off yesterday after the first hour, and your Colts took the L.
They did.
Yeah.
They took a pretty big L yesterday. It is just preseason, but the thing that mattered most, as we talked about on the air, is Anthony Richardson, this QB1, took a massive hit on an unblocked defender and dislocated his finger. So not a great start to preseason.
You know who did have a good start? Ty Robinson.
That's right.
Got a sack last night. Have you been surprised how much you've heard that name since you've been here?
No.
He's
Ty
a big role to
Ty
fill.
and Nash. It's like that's all we've been talking about. That's all John Butler, Matt Rule. They've heard those names over and over again in the offseason. How do you replace Ty and Nash? Well, you don't replace a guy like Ty Robinson we saw last night coming in. It was like a weaving blitz there for the Eagles last night, and he had his not a first official NFL sack because it doesn't go into the official stats in the preseason. But, boy, what a great start. And there's high praise coming out of Philadelphia for what his impact's going to be.
Yeah, I was going to say they like him, and Coach Rule has said that he's heard nothing but good things. He's going to play, going to have an impact. So great to see that, and hopefully the first of many sacks for T-Rob coming up in his first season in the NFL. All right, so that does it for us here in hour number 1. Lots to come in hour number 2. Nick Hanley going to join us. Kyle's going to stay on and chat with us here in the first segment here of hour number 2 with Nick as we're going to dive into some football talk. We mentioned that a couple of the coaches, Coach Dvorak, Coach Thomas, both available today, so we'll bring you a couple of highlights from that press conference as well. And just allow Kyle to chat with Nick because it's always Kyle hour 1, Nick hour 2, so we're going to have the three of us here on this Friday night before Nick hands things off to Kyle full-time coming up on Monday. So all of that to come here in hour number 2. Also, we got to let Nick know how you guys reacted to his joke last night. Did you hear his joke?
I don't think I did.
Pretty solid.
Okay.
So, all right, we'll recap all of that and talk some Husker football next here on Sports Night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and this is our Sports Ticker. Tonight, the Nebraska women's soccer squad continues their exhibition season as they face off against Colorado State in just a few minutes from Hibner Stadium. Admission is free if you'd like to attend. In other news, there are 3 more NFL preseason games tonight, and all 3 are already underway. Currently with 7:13 left in the second quarter, the Falcons lead the Lions 3-0. With 8:01 left in the second quarter, the Panthers and the Browns are tied at 7. That game can be watched on NFL Network. And with 3:25 left in the first quarter, the Patriots lead the Commanders 14-0. And finally, it's a busy day in Major League Baseball. Some scores of note include the Pirates and Reds tied at 1 apiece in the bottom of the 5th. The Orioles lead the Athletics 3-0 in the top of the 4th. The Tigers lead the Angels 3-1. They're also in the top of the 4th. In the bottom of the 3rd, the Yankees trail the Astros 2-0, and at the end of 3 innings, the Marlins lead the Braves 1-0. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
70-shoot high lob, caught by Petrie somehow underneath, in trouble, got to Hank for 3, yeah! Gotcha! Huskers made something out of nothing. I don't know how Petrie got it to Kellen Hank, who buried the Central Valley Egg 3.
Dice has the sign. He collects the 3-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Casey Dice finishes it for Nebraska. The dog pile is on. The Nebraska Cornhuskers have run the table and run it back. Back-to-back Big Ten tournament champions.
Pass made Franklin, the slide, Robinson, block back! Call the grandkids! They did it! Nebraska sweeps Wisconsin for the 3rd time this season. And hello, Louisville! The Big Red bat where it belongs. The Final Four, number 18 in school history.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Nick Hanley, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly, our final show of the week and our first Friday night show in a while. And it's a Friday party show, as mentioned, because Kyle's sticking around. Nick Hanley now joining us. We had John Baylor on the show. I mean, I don't know how does it get much better than that?
This is what some would call, Nick, a bonanza. This is a radio bonanza. Anybody who's ever talked into a microphone in this state is on the show tonight.
It's a virtual cornucopia of hot takes as well.
I like it.
What? You guys have props from JB? Is that right?
Yeah.
Hammer the grammar, baby.
We got some stress hammers. If you get a little stressed out, you can,
Hammer that grammar.
So Kyle met JB for the first time tonight.
Oh, this is the first time. Okay.
Yeah.
First time I've met I was telling JB, you are the last one that I have not met until today. So I've met everybody on the radio team. We've met in person at the press conferences. We've talked over Airlink before, but we hadn't met in person until one of the press conferences a few weeks ago. So I've met everybody in person. I've talked to everybody, so I feel like I'm officially here. I'm officially official.
He has not had Nebraska corn yet.
No, it's sitting around in my apartment. You said that you weren't going to bring that up, but I guess here we are, throwing me under the bus, Nick, again. She's done that again. I think she did that a couple weeks ago as well.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
I've been told to boil it, so I'm going to do that.
It's really good. Hey,
see, I like doing it I like grilling. I like grilling my corn.
Yeah, I
you
just
live in
can't
an apartment,
do it.
Nick.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't have a grill.
That's fair.
Yeah.
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 Did they give you, is it a certain type of corn?
That's a Jessica question because that was given to us by our friend Evan Playfly. So I don't have that expertise available. So
Okay.
What were you going to ask us?
I was just going to say there's Daniel sweet corn, which is very, very good, but I was also making sure that it remained within the borders of our state.
Oh,
yes,
We
because
got into
Iowa
this
corn is
conversation
bad
yesterday.
corn.
Yeah, see, look, he's got it. Listen, he's already got it
there you
down.
go.
Iowa corn is bad corn.
Iowa has
Yes.
bad corn.
Iowa has bad corn. Our friend Camden over there had talked about Colorado peaches being some of the best things on planet Earth. So
Apparently,
that's the
correct.
Iowa's produce is bad, but Colorado's we can eat. I'm learning
Colorado's
that.
peaches are fantastic. Camden is 100% spot on with that. They are very, very good. But just sometimes we tend to overbuy because, they're only ripe. It's like anybody who's Seinfeld fans, the Mackinac peaches, they're only ripe for a certain amount of days.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah. So that's how the Colorado peaches are. So if you overbuy, you have to throw a lot of them away. But, yeah, they're very good.
Oh, fun stuff. Okay, let's get into some cuts from today's press conference. And we'll start with Glenn Thomas, quarterbacks. Of course, we'll start with the QB. But how about the guy back, before we talk about Dylan, let's talk about the guy that potentially maybe could see some reps behind Dylan at some point. TJ Lateef, the true freshman out of California. He was here in the spring. I thought, just from my perspective, what I saw in the spring really grew a lot. And so Coach Thomas gave his perspective on how TJ has looked so far here throughout this fall camp.
Yeah, excited about particularly his skill set. He can really throw it. As you guys can see, he's athletic. He can make some plays off schedule. He's starting to see the field better and better every day. Practice, he's literally right behind Dylan, trying to get that visual of what's happening as far as post-snap confirmation, and excited about his eagerness and urgency to learn and the proactive nature he goes about it.
And I think, obviously, right now it's Jalen Gramstad behind Dylan, so this is more of a conversation of who is that number 3 guy. Marcos Davila's the possibility from Purdue that he could be that third option. But when I've seen TJ in fall camp, super athletic. I think that's the thing that pops out most to me is he could be a dual threat guy down the road. And what an example to have set in front of you than what Dylan Raiola does in practice, the way he leads, having that full year of experience as a true freshman quarterback, having seen everything in the league. So I'm sure for TJ, he's leaning on Dylan a lot, and this is more of a conversation for down the road of what TJ could be for this program and for this offense. But I've been pretty impressed in certain things I've seen from him, especially his athleticism.
I think one of the real interesting things about TJ Lateef's development, too, and we remember how important it was for Nebraska to get to a bowl game for many reasons, to break that bowlless streak and all of those things. But for those early enrollees and players like TJ Lateef that had a chance to go through bowl practice with Nebraska, too, to see a little bit of how it was done. And you bring up a point about learning from Dylan Raiola. I mean, what you're seeing, if you're a young quarterback in that room and you're one of those freshmen like TJ Lateef and you're seeing this true sophomore quarterback go about his business like most juniors and seniors do, it's probably on first blush a bit overwhelming because you're thinking to yourself, how does a guy that really only has one more year more experience than I do look like that and be able to command an offense like that? But I think it also allows you to know that that's attainable if you do the little things. And it's not even if you're able to throw a 45-yard out, but if you're able to put in those little things with footwork, all those things that feel mundane at times. You watch how the professionals do it. You watch how guys like Dylan Raiola do it, knowing that they're only really a year older than you. And I think that is something about TJ Lateef's development that I think is going to be very important. Obviously, Glenn Thomas is a big part of that, and Dane Holgerson's a big part of that. But I think you're right. I think Dylan Raiola is a huge part of that. I know everybody always wants to talk about Jalen Gramstad being in that quarterback room and being such a great resource for all of these quarterbacks, which I think is true. But I think when you're looking at your peers and seeing how they play, you're looking at the guys that are closest in age to you, too. So I think TJ Lateef, again, another guy, as you bring up, Kyle, his versatility. This is one of those things that are towards the end of the year. If he has come along the way that this coaching staff would hope that he would, being around those guys, if there is a situation where maybe, and this would be a bad, worst case scenario if Dylan was unavailable for some reason and you were rolling with Jalen Gramstad, would any of us be shocked that if you're rolling with Jalen Gramstad to start games that you might have some TJ Lateef, as long as you're not going against whatever his plan is for a potential redshirt year as well, that maybe he's he's well versed in the playbook where you could use him in certain wrinkles here and there.
Yeah, and the good thing about the redshirt rule, as we've seen the last couple of years being utilized, is that you get 4 games. So potentially, if you get things handled in the first few games, that maybe he can get some opportunities to actually get some game experience. So, okay, up next, if you came to the live practice or if you've seen some of the videos, you've noticed quarterbacks wearing the GoPros on their helmets. So Coach Thomas was asked about that and the originating idea behind that.
Yeah, that's been a nice little change. I've not done that before. I've heard other people do it. That was a Coach Dana thing, and we probably utilize it more for the vocal than anything, as far as the cadence, as far as the huddle call, what's actually going on, out there, because coaches aren't on there. So it's been nice to hear that vocal, and then obviously Dylan being the getting the most reps, that the other guys can simulate and try to create the consistency with the cadence, with huddle calls as much as we can, just for everybody involved.
Goes back to what every coach comes into fall camp with, the old cliche, no stone unturned. I think that's where you file this under that. Interesting. You would think at first blush with the GoPros, it would be more of how the quarterback sees the field, right? But that necessarily wasn't the case as to is more the audio aspect of it, of how they're commanding the huddle, right, Nick? How they're how loud they are at the line of scrimmage, and in these venues, in Big Ten road venues, you're going to need to be loud to cut through, to communicate. Like we said, no stone unturned. I really think it's a very interesting thing that he mentioned Dana Holgorsen. That's something he brought over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kyle, I thought the exact same thing when I saw the GoPros being used, especially in the open practice, and seeing all of those visuals of, okay, this makes sense. They're going to have a chance to evaluate what their quarterbacks, where they're looking, how they're processing the route tree and, the checkdowns, all of those things from what your quarterback is, from a visual standpoint, seeing. The communication thing to me, hearing that today, was, I thought, very, very interesting. And you're probably right. It's probably, we're just doing everything we possibly can. And even an extension of what I think he meant as well when it comes to the vocal and the communication is, okay, when you are getting up to the line of scrimmage and a defense is showing you a certain front, obviously your offensive line is communicating, but how's the quarterback off of those offensive line calls? And if you have to check out of something, is that being done at the right moment? Are you checking into the right calls? Or checking out of something that's not going to be there. So I think also seeing the defensive fronts and where the pressure is going to be and all those things that a quarterback has to be able to navigate with that cadence, I think is really interesting.
I just had a great idea. Instead of hanging the GoPro up on the side of the booth, maybe you could wear it on your head.
Wear it on my head, and then we can have meetings. Let's go over this GoPro as to why were you at the media buffet at halftime and not reading through your stats? Something like that. I like it. Keep me honest.
I think the angles that we could see how you're tracking the football as well, but more importantly. Yeah, exactly. Like, are there some posture things that we could figure out with the GoPro?
Or if you're looking at Damon, getting Damon's reaction, if Ben's,
I want to see that Damon
Ben's
GoPro
punching the wall, we could see that.
Yeah, you want to see booth reactions during good plays, and I guess even the occasional bad play too. But I think that'd be fun for the fans.
But then we could also see your charts. I mean, so all
the Ben cam is the most interesting of the three of us at that front table, because I've heard Ben is very animated with that pencil or pen toss. So
Ben's passionate.
You just if you're gonna throw your pen, Ben, just don't throw your pen at me. I did nothing wrong.
That's a great word, passionate.
He's passionate.
Okay, so routine plays. Nick and I talked about this last night. We've talked a lot about it over the course throughout fall camp, because it's been the messaging that's been hammered home by Dana Holgorsen, by the offensive players. Got to be good at the routine plays. So Glenn Thomas was asked about that today, and just, how has Dylan progressed in that, and maybe getting the football out of his hands and letting the guys go to work. Here was Coach Thomas's answer to that.
Yeah, I think that's a challenge at every level. I think, if you're dealing with a 10-year vet in the NFL, I think you're still talking in those terms, whether it be footwork, pocket movement, seeing post-snap confirmation as far as coverage. And he's such a good processor into anticipation, sometimes too much, right? Like if he's don't anticipate something's going to happen, trying to get through the progression, just take what's there, And I think he's in a great spot. We had a couple of really, really nice plays on schedule, slid in the pocket, made a couple of plays off schedule today. So, the ability to do both of those, creates hopefully some issues on defense.
There were some great plays today in practice, specifically a dime. And when I say dime, I don't use that loosely, that he threw to Dane Key along the left sideline where Key, and then I think it was Phil Snow who just said, well, there's nothing you can do about that. Just scream that out loud. And you saw late last year, right, when Dana took over the offense, the completion percentage went way up for Dillon, about 72% or so over the last 3 or 4 games. And that goes into those mesh concepts we talk about. So what's that? The shallow crosses and those quick get the ball out of Dillon's hands. So the way the playbook shrunk for Dillon last year, the way the game was simplified last year, I think that really helped him along. And now having that full offseason with Dana Holgorsen being the offensive coordinator, being able to build that relationship and take that next level, I think Dillon is set. We've talked about the touchdown-interception ratio, 13 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. I think you're going to see that touchdown number go way up, and I think you're going to see that interception number stay pretty low this year with the way Dillon's tracking.
And I know he talked about that at Big Ten Media Days as well, Dillon, about just his overall decision-making and where he's placing the football. And, at times last year, that would get hung up in the air a little bit. A lot of go routes where you would see that separation initially from the receiver, and you're hitting them in that proper time with the ball flight that you need with just enough behind it, but also having a little air, being able to thread that needle, so to speak, on when to put a little air under it and when to put a little bit more velocity onto it. All those little things I think are naturally going to come with that. But I think, again, the system that he's in and the mesh concepts, I think, is what allows him to be that much more dangerous on the deep passing threats and on the go routes and being able to hit those big home runs, because it forces a defense to come up and have to play honest and be able to communicate on those switches. And if you're hitting that consistently, and again, getting a lot of these guys, we forget about this. It's not just, check downs and just trying to get what the defense gives you. You get those guys in space, especially coming off of those mesh routes, that all of a sudden they're able to turn upfield and become a playmaker themselves. And then all of a sudden you also have to realize that quarterback has a strong right arm and he can deliver on the home run. So I think there's a lot of that natural progression, but I think what you brought up there with the mesh routes and the Dana Holgorsen type of offense in that percentage going up last year, I don't think that was any fluke at all. I think being able to pare things down and just hone in on those concepts, I think, was extremely beneficial to him at the end of that freshman year.
So Kyle's talking about Dillon dropping dimes. The other day, Addison Williams was very complimentary, talking about some of the throws that Dillon was making. So Glenn Thomas was asked about that, if he remembered what Addison Williams was talking about specifically, and this was his answer to that.
Not particularly in that practice. He did make a couple of throws today, and I think what excites you is when you start utilizing, you're a passer, not a thrower. That's what we talk about a bunch, as far as the anticipation element, as far as pace, as far as touch, fitting into intentional throws. He made a couple of those today, and you could really tell it was a purpose involved. And as you start seeing that, there's a comfort level involved, and that's what creates some excitement as far as that development moving forward.
And, it's the same cliche that they use, Nick, right, in baseball, being a pitcher, not a thrower. The ability to have the off speed and be able to paint corners and not just throw the ball 101 miles an hour. I think that's just part of the natural development of a quarterback, is the ability to make those different throws. And they need Dillon to be better specifically. And, Coach Thomas had talked about the red zone areas inside the 20, when that field really shrinks and you're working in tighter windows. They need him to be better in those types of situations. So I'd be excited to see what this offense's numbers are like and Dillon's numbers are like specifically in the red zone.
Yeah, to echo that point, the confidence, the command, again, to use baseball lingo there, and it kind of goes back to what I was saying before that soundbite of being able to thread that needle, like Glenn Thomas talked about, of having that ability to put it into windows, that intentionality with where you're throwing the football, even as something as simple as nothing's there, throw it out of bounds. Or if you do have sort of a low-risk red zone opportunity, if you're missing to where only your player can make the play, and it has absolutely no chance for the defender to come up and pick that thing off. So all of those things with Dylan, and we saw signs of this, guys, last year, of Dylan understanding that at such a young age. And this is where I go through all of the reps he's had as a high-level Elite 11, big-time high school prospect, too. I mean, he thinks differently than most freshmen that were in his position a year ago did. So I remember just in the UTEP game alone, there were throws that he was making that were just different than what we had seen in recent time at Nebraska at the quarterback position. So you know it's there. It's just a matter of seeing it more often, and I think that's what this sophomore year is about.
All right, good stuff. We've got to get to a break here, so we have plenty of time. We're going to hear from Rob Dvorak, linebackers coach, coming up on the other side of this. Play some of the highlights from his press conference today, so we'll get to that. Right after this, Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Mike Shepard or Craig Kerr in Lincoln, or Agent Jeff Martinez in Omaha today.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
No matter what you're looking for, you'll find it at Woodhouse. We carry a wide selection of trusted brands across more than 20 locations, offering everything from efficient daily drivers to bold new EVs and family-ready SUVs. At Woodhouse, we put your experience first, offering expert guidance and a trusted team that's guaranteed to help you find the right vehicle. Visit a location near you or start shopping online at woodhouse.com. More ways to drive, more reasons to trust. This is Woodhouse.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. A special night of Sports Nightly tonight. We've got Kyle here with us again here in hour number 2. Nick joining us as well, and I just wish the people could have heard the shenanigans going on in the commercial break just now.
There's a lot of shenanigans, too many shenanigans. I profess my love for the show King of Queens. It's in syndication. So take you behind the curtain as to what I do when I leave the studio every night. If there's not a game that's on, I'll have on-demand episodes of King of Queens, and I'll just watch that until I fall asleep. So it's my favorite show, and me and Nick, he shared a joke that was a King of Queens callback. So I recognized it right away, and then we bonded over our mutual love of not just King of Queens and Seinfeld, but of Jerry Stiller, the late, great Jerry Stiller, one of the greatest comedians ever.
Truly is, and just the perfect amount of rage in every character that he plays.
Have you seen Zoolander, Jess?
No.
He was in Zoolander.
Oh, you haven't seen
Zoolander?
Because
Ben Stiller's his son, obviously, so he was in... Jess is so lost right now.
I am. I have no idea what you're talking about. We were talking about soft serve ice cream, and the next thing I know, I don't know where the conversation went.
Why are you guys talking about Jay Buhner? Domino's? What is this Domino's thing?
I didn't know. I thought that you just pulled the McDonald's thing. I thought you just did that yourself. So
why'd you trade Jay Buhner? That was the episode. Larry David played George Steinbrenner in those episodes, right, Nick? Where you never see the front side of George Steinbrenner, it was always the back. But I think Steinbrenner might have been in an episode. Yeah.
Yes, George, come in.
Oh, my. Friday party show, people. Friday party show. But what the real question was is Kyle wants some soft serve ice cream.
Please.
Camden's given us some suggestions. So if you're listening in, please text in 402-413-2400. Let us know in the chat where Kyle needs to get soft serve ice cream in Lincoln.
Camden said, isn't that just what frozen yogurt is? No, Camden. No, it's different. It's
Young
different.
Fella.
There's soft serve is the real deal.
I'm crying.
And that's when Nick said, just go to McDonald's and get no. Because, well, first of all, isn't it a thing like ice cream machines never work in McDonald's? They're always broken.
That's true, yes. I've heard that,
So,
well,
I want to do it right.
You're gambling either way, but if you are really desperate, if
I might
all
be.
else fails, go.
I might be.
I mean, does Dairy Queen like a
Blizzard? What? Do we have Dairy Queens?
We do. We have Dairy Queens.
Then I think that's
Oh, we do, yeah. But doesn't Runza have soft serve? I don't want to put something on the menu that they don't have, but I'm pretty sure Runza has soft serve.
Josh and Camden are confirming, yes.
I will go to Runza.
I will go to Runza twice in my life, once to get a chicken sandwich and once to get a soft serve ice cream, and never get an actual Runza, is what we're saying. I don't think I can do that.
They got a mean Southwest chicken salad there.
I don't think I could do that and just be able to live through it, live it down.
Oh, my. Well, we've completely gone off the rails here, so let's get this thing back on track. We told you we'd hear from Rob Dvorak, the linebackers coach. I bet he likes soft serve ice cream. Maybe he can give us some recommendations. So he was asked today just about the group of linebackers that he has that we have also dove into a lot here on this show. But he was asked, ideally, what is the number that he would like to be able to play with on Saturdays?
I think ultimately the goal is to get as many guys as you can out there and as many guys as you can on your team to play and be prepared. So when their time's ready to go, they're ready to roll. And so I don't know if I necessarily have a specific number. I'm going to try to get everyone to play. You never know. It's a long season. So get everyone prepared. You never know when the moment's going to come. Got to get everyone ready to play.
But also, too, it depends on down distance situation. Obviously, this team plays a lot of nickel. You might see some dimes, so that'll eliminate the number of linebackers that are on the field at any given time. But in terms of how confident you are in the depth in the linebacker room, Marquez, Watson, Trent, who we talked with Damon earlier in the week, I think I'm most interested to see how he plays in the Big Ten Matt Rule had called Javen Wright at Big Ten Media Days a cheat code, somebody who can be able to shut down a premier tight end in coverage, and you're going to see that right away with Cincinnati. They have one of the best tight ends in the country, and the continued emergence of Vincent Shavers, who I know is one of your favorite players on the defensive end, and then the depth behind that, and Jacob Bauer and Dawson Merritt. Those two guys will really, I think, decide just how deep this linebacker room truly is.
And I think it was a question of, we saw the value of the ability to rotate at all levels of that defense under Tony White. And I think John Butler obviously understands that, not just being under Tony White a year ago as the DB's coach, but also in his time as DCs and the NFL and the collegiate level, that if you have that type of depth, you can rotate. You're getting, as we always talk about, the quality over quantity type of snaps. And so I don't know if that's exactly where Nebraska is right now, right? This is the big question about this team going in. And I know as much as the defensive line and even the linebackers talk about they don't listen to that narrative, I don't think anybody's saying that this group is going to really be a problem for this team. I think what everyone is very curious about is the amount of bodies that you replace. How will they, or maybe more importantly, who will be some of those difference makers? And I think we're looking at a bunch, and I think you named a couple right there too. But I think more than anything, if you find that group 4 or 5 of them that you can rotate equally and be able to not miss a beat when somebody is on and somebody is off the field there, then you're seeing the type of, I think, front 7 from what you have with your interior defensive linemen on the edge and at the linebacking core, especially in the inside linebacking position. If those guys are not gassed in the fourth quarter, because we know the ability to stop the run has always been a hallmark of this defense, and especially getting off the field on third down. If you can rotate effectively because you have guys that, quite frankly, make it tough for you to keep off the field, what a great problem to have for Rob Dvorak.
Kyle mentioned Dawson Merritt there, the top recruit out of last year's signing class. He was hurt through the spring, so did not go through any of the practices during the spring, but he is full go here in fall camp. And so Coach Dvorak was asked about Dawson and how he's progressing here in the fall.
Yeah, he's a great young man. I mean, obviously he's got great pedigree with his dad, and everyone knows who his dad is, coaching for the Chiefs, and just being around a game of football. I think he's got a really high ceiling. He's obviously a young player, just day in and day out, trying to improve, and he's doing that along with the rest of the guys. So I'm looking forward to the future with him. He's doing a really nice job so far.
Yeah, so if you read between the lines as to what Coach Dvorak had said, it's gonna take a little bit before we see him on the field for a lot of snaps, and that's what you expect from a true freshman. This was somebody who was committed to Alabama. Like, he was a highly sought-after prospect and didn't start football until kind of late in high school, so he's sort of a late bloomer in that respect. But he has that the football family. Mentioned his dad, Dave, is a longtime DB coach with the Kansas City Chiefs. But I think they have high hopes for Dawson Merritt. Don't necessarily know what that looks like this year. I think you'll see him in a lot of games in certain situations, but he won't. I wouldn't imagine, barring any injury or changes in the depth chart, wouldn't see a whole lot of snaps this year, but I think they will lean on him a little bit.
I think people are just curious to hear about him because of how highly touted he came in, Nick.
Yeah, and I think if you look at his size, too, at 6'3", 225, there's a guy that I'm really excited to see what he looks like by the end of the season, that second half of the season, now that he's having that ability to work out and do so freely without any type of limitations with the injury. That's a guy that if you put on the right type of frame that is already there for him, but get that right type of collegiate muscle that you know he's going to get from this strength and conditioning staff, he's one of those guys that I think by the end of the season you're going to look at a pretty much a different kid. And he's already impressive looking now, but to see just those fine-tuning of the body to get him ready for the rigors of Big Ten play, I'm looking forward to seeing what he looks like physically.
Well, Phil Snow is a guy that Coach Rhule's talked a lot about since he's been here and just the impact that he's made on him as a coach, but he's not the only one. There's a lot of ties to Phil Snow and this coaching staff, and as he's joined the staff and has been embedded here, I think it's safe to say he's been a hit with this group.
It's been really good. Obviously, he's been in the game for a really long time. He's been a coordinator for a long time. He's coached a bunch of different positions. So just to have another set of eyes, I've worked with Coach Snow for a long time. I've learned a lot. Everything about football that I know has come from him. So he's a mentor of mine. So to have that in the room, another set of eyes, just a football coach has been doing it a long time at a really high level, so it's great having him.
37 years in college coaching, 10 of those with Matt Rhule. I mean, he was a DC in the NFL, the Carolina Panthers. He was a defensive coordinator at Baylor. And you go to any of these practices, he's one of the loudest voices. I did my Phil Snow impression earlier today about the throw that Dylan had made to Dane Key, and that the coverage was great, but the throw is just better. Well, there's nothing you can do about that. He just has a loud presence about him. And you think of all of the NFL connections that are on this coaching staff. All these guys, they know where they want to go. They want to play in the league. And I think what's good about Coach Rhule is he's brought in a lot of the coaches from his NFL experience and guys that have a lot of NFL experience. They're now on this staff to help push this program along.
Yeah, and I think there's something to be said about, look, Jessica and I have talked about him before, and Kyle, you're obviously seeing this from Rob Dvorak. There's an impressive young coach there that I love what he had to say about Phil Snow, because I think a guy on the staff, not only is this team and the defensive line, the linebacking core, the secondary, the entire defensive members are going to benefit from having a guy like Phil Snow with his vast knowledge, as you bring up, because you're talking about a good wealth of knowledge from the pro game and the college game, but also for these younger position coaches that look like that path is leading to eventually be a DC and be a very good one. I think Rob Dvorak is one of the high risers, and I think just seeing him continue to evolve as already a very impressive member of this coaching staff from day one when Matt Rhule got here to Lincoln, but having a guy like Phil Snow that he can use as a mentor and continue to evolve and learn, I look at a lot of those coaches just like the players benefiting from his presence.
And I think it also helps out John Butler, right? He hasn't been a defensive coordinator since 2013. Well, you're stepping back into, you finally got that opportunity to be the guy and the coordinator, and you have a guy like Phil Snow to lean on, Jess.
Nick, that was a perfect lead in here for our last clip about, Rob Dvorak is a guy that he is going to be a defensive coordinator if he wants to be at some point. He is Coach Rhule has mentioned that before, and with as good as Coach Rhule is developing players, he's also that good at developing assistant coaches, and we've seen a few of those kind of rotate through here the last couple of years. But Coach Dvorak was asked why he has stayed and stuck around here in Lincoln.
Well, I think personally for myself, I love it here. This is a great place for me. My family's happy here. I've been with Coach Rhule for a long time, so I'm happy to be a Husker. I'm happy to be part of this staff, and I think our players are happy to be here. I mean, I'm in a great spot. I'm blessed to be where I am. I want to be here, and so everything's been great for me. And so I don't know if that really answers the question, but there's no place I'd rather be. And so I think that might help the cause.
Sometimes you're as good as the company you keep, and Coach Rhule is very calculated in the company that he keeps. There's a reason that he wants Rob Dvorak around, because he is a darn good coach that will be a coordinator.
And Kyle, look at the results of it too. That linebacking core, even as they've replaced some very impressive linebackers, they've been able to pick up from the last group left off. And Rob Dvorak, I don't know if he got enough credit for the consistency that he continues to have at that position.
Good stuff. All right, we got to get to a break. I got a couple more segments left here with the three of us, so keep it here on Sports Nightly. The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Matt Moorhead or Joanne Shamanek in Lincoln or Scott Jeffers in McCook today.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Jan from Toyota here, with live coverage of end of summer fun at Toyota's national sales event with my special guest, Eli Manning.
Thanks, Jan. Let's get into it.
Down by the lake for some fishing, we've got Eric in his Tundra. He throws his line, and he's going long!
Heck of a team effort there. That Tundra got him exactly where he needed to be.
There's excitement in the stadium parking lot with the Davis family tailgating in their new Sequoia.
All eyes are on Dad manning the grill. He grabs some buns from the cargo area of the Sequoia and flips. And look at that! What a way to close this one out.
Sure was, Eli. Until next time, go Toyota!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends September 2nd. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, or Corwin Toyota of Bellevue.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Tanya Blaine in Norfolk, Grant Wilbeck in Omaha, or Bud Morrell in Ocala.
At Woodhouse, we're with you every step of the way. With more than 20 locations and brands, you'll find options that fit your lifestyle. Whether you're looking for your first car, your next SUV, or something built to tow and haul. Enjoy straightforward pricing, helpful guidance, and a dealer experience built around you. Visit one of our convenient locations today or explore your options online at woodhouse.com. Serving our customers for 50 years, this is Woodhouse.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
Sports Nightly is brought to you by Choices Treatment Center. If you or someone you know is struggling with problem gambling, free treatment is available in Nebraska. Call Choices 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300 for more information. Offices in Lincoln and Columbus. Well, this time last night, Nick, you were delivering about this time last night. You were delivering a joke of the week, and I just wanted to let you know it went over pretty well.
Good.
Would say you averaged about a 9.
I gave it a 5.5.
Kyle didn't like it as much.
But you made it sound like Kyle made it sound like that was a good grade.
It is.
Like,
5.5 is good.
Oh.
Okay.
So
5.5 is good.
Josh gave you a 9, so let's just roll with that.
And I know Josh is a tough critic too, so I will gladly take his 9 as a badge of honor.
So you're one time up. You I guess hit what, a triple? Would you say a triple? Home run?
Triple and someone drove me in. Kyle's 5.5 drove me in.
If I score a 7, I'm rolling on the floor laughing. You don't want to see if it's a 9 or 10.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, there's the context. Right. There we go. There we go.
A 9 is basically what you're saying is a 9 is just that doesn't exist.
No, it could exist. You just don't want to see me when somebody tells a 9
King
joke.
of Queens or whatever show you have some 9s.
Arthur Spooner in King of Queens is a 9.
Delivers 9s.
He's a 9. Consistent 9, and that's comedic excellence.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Well, we do have some big women's basketball news that came out today. Big commitment for Amy Williams and her staff. Maddie Stewart, she's a combo guard out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, played at Lincoln Christian, and they are pumped about her and just get one of those guards that fit so well into what the staff has done. But they are killing it on the recruiting trail. They have got a lot of momentum right now, a lot of things working for them, and I know they're really, really excited about the talent that they're bringing in for the future.
And you were helping out in a recruiting visit yesterday. I think, was it Maddie as well that was walking through campus yesterday?
It was not Maddie.
It was not Maddie? Okay. Well, Maddie, that's exciting. So she's obviously one of the top recruits, and I'm looking at social media now, and that commitment is, I mean, there's some heavy dogs in that fight in the top 5 that they had to fight off.
Yeah.
Well, and that position, too, all of a sudden we look at what Britt Prince was able to warrant with her commitment, and we already saw the effects of that just as quickly as her freshman year. So you feel like not only when you're able to land one of those and kind of keep that train going, but especially at that position to see how they use Britt Prince, that can be very appealing to those high-end combo guards. So I don't think that that's any coincidence right there.
I also just wanted to mention it, too, because she's out of Oklahoma. My dad has actually seen her play and says she's legit. So I told my dad just to start going to all of our games wearing Husker gear. You know?
There you go.
You know, I
see. Then she's really going to know. She's going to feel great about that commitment. Like, man, Husker fans are everywhere.
Just start chanting "Go Big Red" at a random Oklahoma high school game.
I saw our friend Julian Asibe today, assistant coach for women's basketball, out at football practice today.
Yeah.
And the first thing I said to him is I heard the good news, and boy, he was fired up.
Yeah.
This was one that they were really hoping would commit, and she did. So
Listen, I'll just say there's more good news coming, but I'm going to let that unfold as it is. They're doing such a great job, and it's exciting times for Husker women's basketball.
Tease alert. There's a teaser right there.
She's got all the inside info.
Yeah, and the showbiz,
There's a
that's what we
teaser.
like to call a tease. So stay tuned for that. Julian also stopped by and was giving Kyle a hard time because he wasn't in his office yesterday when the recruits were rolling through.
I would probably have a negative impact on the recruiting, Nick, so I should probably stay away.
Kyle, they're trying to use you as an impact on the recruiting trail. Come on, man.
You know
Get with
where
the
I
program
was?
here.
I was running my. I think I was doing a nice little shoulder workout yesterday around that time. You know, trying to stay fit. You know, Nick. Sometimes
Arms and
it's
back.
hard.
It's boring, but it's my life.
No big deal.
All right, he's got to work
Just
off that
back and
soft
buys,
serve
you
ice
know.
cream. He's got to burn the calories for that.
That's true.
I can't wait.
Yep.
All right, got to get to a break. We're back to wrap up the show next.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Welcome back. Final segment here of Sports Nightly on this Friday evening. Kyle Crooks, Nick Hanley. I'm Jessica Coody. And I did want to save enough time here in the last segment, Nick, to just thank you so much for all that you've done for us to help us get through this time. You know, you joined in back in January when Greg said, hey, you're going to need some help, and Nick's a guy that's going to be there for you, and you certainly have. And you're not going anywhere. You are going to be a part. You're going to help us out in the fall, maybe do some shows for us when we're traveling with the team, fill in, and then, of course, you'll be back on the call for Husker baseball. But I did just want to make sure that we spent some time kind of saying what's next for you, but that you're still going to be around, and also to give you a proper thanks for everything you've done for us here over the last 6 months or so.
I appreciate that, and I've enjoyed every moment of it. It's been awesome. You mentioned when I had that conversation with Greg, and you were talking to me about this as well, kind of setting up what the new year would look like. And obviously we hoped Greg would still be with us in some capacity. And it was just, it was something that I was obviously honored to do because of what that show has meant to you and to Greg and to Ben and everybody that has done this show before too. So to be a part of it is obviously an honor. And I'm happy to help out whenever I am needed, but I'm also very excited that I knew it was not going to be easy to see who the next person would be to fill into the big shoes of Greg Sharp, but I'm very excited about Kyle. Very, very excited about what he's already brought and what he will continue to bring. I was listening to Troy Dannon talk about the addition of Kyle Crooks to this broadcast family, and he had some great things to say, and everything that I've been able to experience, and I know you as well. We all were very vested into that decision, you especially, and I think very safe to say that they made the right choice.
And I've told Nick this in person because the thought of me having to do this show, of not having that vast knowledge of everything Nebraska outside of just trying to learn the football team was something that just would have been really, really hard for me to do right away. And outside of Jess and what she's done, I think Nick has done so much for me, probably without him knowing it, because of, he was helping you out on the show every single night. And for me, I kind of felt guilty. Like I'm not there to help Jess on the show. But Nick, you helped make this so much easier for me to take the time to say, hey, let's take a few weeks to learn the football team and take a few weeks to learn volleyball to actually be able to talk it on the air. And I feel like I'm in a much better spot, obviously, than when I first got here on July 1. And my first day was July 7th, but I'm much better situated now to actually do this show. And the reason why I wasn't thrown to the wolves and put in maybe a compromising situation on a talk show is because of Nick Hanley and what he did and his sacrifice to help me sort of get comfortable. So, Nick, I can't thank you enough, and you're not going anywhere. You are going to be on this show, and I can't wait to listen to you and Ben call baseball as well. And
you guys will probably be in the booth together. Because
we'll probably call games together, too.
We've in the past, we've had 3 guys, and I know Kyle's probably going to be that guy so you guys will share the baseball booth eventually, I'm sure.
I'll look out for road trips, my man.
Maybe we can find some good soft serve on the road.
I guarantee you. If there's one thing we've always done a very good job of on the baseball road trips is we find some very delicious eats, whether we're talking desserts or entrees, whatever it is.
Hey, Nick, I'm coming to your room. King of Queens is on. Let's watch.
I was going to say, and maybe you could get the bus driver to play King of Queens or something on the way to the stadium.
There you go. Yeah. See, there you go.
Jess,
they're usually pretty open with that, too.
Jess, you have to start watching TV, and the right TV. I mean, I feel like she doesn't even know Seinfeld, King of Queens. Like, come on. What are we doing?
No, I don't. I'm not a movie person either, so a lot of times when you throw out the quotes, I'm laughing, but I have no idea what I'm laughing at. So.
Jessica, what are you doing? What are you reading or something?
She reads books.
I read
books with words? Ew.
What a nerd.
I also, I go to the dog bar with my dog.
Yeah, the dog bar. There you go. Yeah.
I take Sunny to play with her friends,
Uh-huh.
So, but no,
pull up a seat.
We appreciate you so much, and you're going to be around, going to still be a part, and we'll hear from you often here. You're going to help us out when we have road trips and on Sports Nightly, and anytime Kyle or I need a night off, I know we're going to give you a call. So we appreciate you very much, and we're not getting rid of him, people. I know that a lot of people have said we're going to miss you, we're going to miss Nick. He's still going to be around, I promise.
Yes. No, again, thank you guys for the opportunity. It's great to be a part of the family for sure.
We also got to keep a check on his handicap and also how the flag football is going, because those are two pretty big developing storylines that we've got to make sure we've got repeated check-ins on. Check the progress.
Constant updates coming. You bet.
Good stuff, and thanks again for everything. Nick Hanley, Kyle Crooks, thanks to Josh Camden for helping us out on this one. I'm Jessica Coody, and we will be back for a full 2 hours. Kyle and I here for you on Monday night here on Sports Nightly.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Natalie Kerr in Lincoln, Michael Reeves in Omaha, or Julie Null in Plattsmouth.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation. I wouldn't have adopted my first pet. And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
No matter what you're looking for, you'll find it at Woodhouse. We carry a wide selection of trusted brands across more than 20 locations, offering everything from efficient daily drivers to bold new EVs and family-ready SUVs. At Woodhouse, we put your experience first, offering expert guidance and a trusted team that's guaranteed to help you find the right vehicle. Visit a location near you or start shopping online at woodhouse.com. More ways to drive,